Hi boys and girls, today we're going to read a book called Puddle Pail by Eliza Clevin. And if you can see on the front of the book, there are two green crocodiles and one is holding a pail of water. Can you see what's inside the pail of water? It's a rainbow. It's actually the reflection of a rainbow. So there are going to be a lot of reflections in this book and I want you to pick out your favorite. One bright morning after a storm, Ernst, a young blue crocodile, and his big green brother Sol set off for the beach. They skipped through the wet grass and stamped through the mud, drumming on their shiny pails. "I'm going to fill my pail with shells," said Sol, who loved to collect things. "I'm going to fill my pail with sand and build a sandcastle," said Ernst, who loved to make things. "Maybe I'll find some rocks too," said Sol, "all shapes and colors for my rock collection, and some feathers for my feather collection, and maybe some string." Sol bent down to pick up a rubber band. "Just the thing for my rubber band collection. You ought to start a collection, Ernst." "I don't know what to collect," Ernst replied. "Collect something you really like," said Sol. "Something that comes in all different sizes and colors and shapes. That way your collection will be interesting." Can you see Sol's collection of rocks and feathers and string? Ernst watched the clouds make flower shapes and seahorse shapes in the windy sky. He watched a little snake cloud puff into a dragon. And he watched a rabbit curl into a ball. "Clouds are interesting," he said. "I wish I could collect clouds." "Clouds!" exclaimed Sol. "You can't collect clouds. Think of something else that you like." Can you see the clouds? There's the dragon and the seahorse and there's the rabbit. "Stars," said Ernst, imagining the sky at night. "I love to watch the stars." "But you can't collect stars either," said Sol. "They're too far away and too big and very, very hot." "They look so small and cold," said Ernst. "I wish I could collect stars." "I know," said Sol. "Starfishes. You could collect them." "I like starfishes in the ocean," said Ernst, "but I don't think I want to collect them." "Well," Sol suggested, "what about star-shaped cookies? You could collect star-shaped butter cookies with frosting." "And star-shaped chocolate cookies with sprinkles," Ernst added. "And star-shaped cherry cookies with toasted nuts," said Sol. Ernst's mouth watered. "I wish I could collect a bunch of cookies right now. In my stomach." Just then, something caught Sol's eye. A bottle cap laying in a puddle. "Look at that sparkly bottle cap, Ernst. You could start a bottle cap collection." "It's pretty," Ernst agreed, "but I like the puddle in it even more." "The puddle," said Sol. "It looks like a little piece of sky on the ground. I wish I could collect it." So can you see the bottle cap and the reflection of the bottle cap underneath? "You can't collect puddles," said Sol. "Yes, I can collect puddles," said Ernst. "They're not too far away or too big or too hot, and I don't want to eat them." Splish splash! Ernst scooped the puddle up into his pail. "Ernst," said Sol, "you're not really going to start a puddle collection, are you?" "Yes," said Ernst, "I am." He scooped up a green puddle, round as a saucer. Splash splosh! It joined the other puddle in the pail. Sol rolled his eyes. "Since you're going to stay here collecting puddles, I'll go down to the beach by myself and collect real things." Can you see some of the reflections here? There's a reflection of the sky and the clouds in this puddle. And it looks like there's some reflection of the trees and leaves in this puddle. "Puddles are real though, Ernst," as he said as he searched for more to collect. "Here's a purple puddle, and a striped puddle, and a flowered puddle. Here's a puddle full of diamonds and a puddle full of squares. You can see the puddles here. This puddle has a reflection of the pink house. And this puddle has a reflection of the fence and the striped cat. And this puddle has a reflection of flowers. And these puddles have reflections of the walls. A puddle full of gumballs and a puddle full of brooms. A puddle like an Easter egg. A puddle like a wheel and a puddle like a pretzel in it. Oh my goodness, there's reflections of pretzels, Easter eggs, brooms, gumballs. Slippery puddles, smooth puddles, lemony, lettery, cool puddles. Ernst sang a song as he scooped up the puddles. Splish, splash, sang the puddles as they slid into the pail. Sol came back with his pail piled high. Look what I got, Ernst. 12 seashells, 8 feathers, 19 little rocks, 3 clumps of seaweed, a marble, a nutshell, and a plastic dinosaur without a head. I got a lot of puddles, Ernst announced, in different sizes and colors and shapes. Sol peered into Ernst's pail. Your puddles have all run together. They look like a pail full of ordinary water. They're one big puddle now, said Ernst, and Ernst and Sol puddle. That's the weirdest collection I've ever heard of, Sol replied. What can you do with a puddle? Do you see the reflection of Ernst and Sol in the water? I'll think of something. Ernst carried his pail carefully as they started for home. I know, said Sol. You can help me wash the sand off all my new collections. You can wash your own collections, Ernst replied. I'll think of something else to do with my puddle. Ernst set his puddle pail on the grass and sat down to swing. While he swung, his puddle slowly turned from gold to pink. Clouds swam in and out of it like little fishes. So you can see how the sky changes in the reflection in the pail. When night fell, stars collected in the puddle pail, and a little piece of the moon too. So Ernst is looking at his beautiful pail with a beautiful night sky and the stars in it. Early the next morning, Ernst went out to check on his pail. A thirsty dog was drinking from it. You might like my magic puddle soup, Ernst asked. The dog wagged her tail and drank some more, leaving Ernst just enough water to paint some watercolor pictures. Ernst painted a dog. He painted some clouds and some stars and many puddles. Sol came by his pail filled with flowers and acorns and leaves. I started some new collections, he said. What have you got there, Ernst? A dog, replied Ernst, and a painting collection. Ooh, said Sol, what a collection, with clouds and stars and everything. I used part of my puddle collection to make it, Ernst explained. The dog drank the other part. Ernst petted the dog, he looked at the clouds and the stars and the puddles shining on the grass, and he felt proud and happy, and hungry too, since he hadn't had breakfast yet. So look at all the beautiful paintings Ernst did of all the reflections that he saw in his puddle. Let's go get blackberries, he said, from the bushes down the road. Good idea. Sol grabbed his pail. Maybe we'll find some pennies on the way, and some pine cones, and some gum wrappers, and maybe some shadows too, said Ernst. Shadows, said Sol. You can't. Yes, I can collect shadows, Ernst cried. He caught one for a second in his pail. I know you've been learning about shadows too. Can you see the shadow of the butterfly in the pail? And when it fluttered off, he and Sol filled their pails and themselves with sweet, juicy blackberries. Do you think that their collection of blackberries lasted very long? I don't. I think that they probably ate them. So we also talked about collections in this book, and a few collections we have at our house. We have our rock collection with a lot of different shapes and sizes and colors of rocks. And we also have a little collection of small shells, different colors and different shapes. And you might already have a collection yourself, and if you don't, you can always start one with something that you like or that you love. Now, remember when I asked you to remember a reflection from the book? Well, you're going to get a worksheet that looks like this, and this is your very own pail. And if you can see, you can color the top part with water. And I would love for you to put inside your pail your favorite reflection from the book. I would love to see a beautiful drawing. And on the bottom, it says, my favorite reflection was the, and I would love for you to write what your favorite reflection was also. And you can get your mom or dad or grandma or grandpa to help you write. I hope you love this book as much as I did, and I will see you soon. Bye.